think the TikTok is so good. Like, we spent so much time.
We think everything's so good. Except for the ones that do well. We're like, this was stupid.
Yeah. The lower the effort, the better the video is.
Yeah. Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Vibes Podcast.
We're two best friends who get together to laugh and discuss a variety of topics.
From all things pop culture to navigating through adulthood as Asian Americans, and more with our own clown spin, of course.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey everyone, back in person for our second in-person Clown Vibes podcast recording. It literally took us an hour to
Well, we're in a new place, to be fair. We're at Yu Chen's apartment in Nasa.
Yes.
And we recorded our first one at my parents' house, so...
I mean, we just have studios, like, all over the nation.
Yeah, we're that cool.
Okay, why are we in person?
We went to Yosemite this week for 4th of July and did a little trippy. Usually we do, like, a international trip every year.
Yeah. But this year we're broke.
Yeah, funds were not available. Also, why is Europe like double the price right now?
I think this is just how expensive it is, and we were just reaping the benefits of COVID in when did we go? 2021?
No, we went last year, 2022.
Oh, okay. And I have no concept of time, like, ever.
But yeah, we couldn't afford the $1,500 ticket to go there. I mean, I guess we could have, but we didn't want to.
Yeah.
It just felt wrong.
And plus, like, we wanted to get together to record a Clown Vibes podcast, and I'm unsure if we would have been able to do that in Europe.
Wait, but all of our trips can't be Clown Vibes oriented.
This was bleisure. This one was bleisure.
Yeah. Only today. Well, actually, we spent a lot of time in Yosemite filming content, and it's all flopping, so...
No, you haven't posted, like,
true.
the ringer yet, so...
Yes, that's true.
Okay, what are some of our highlights? I think my favorite day would be the waterfall hike.
Yeah.
It was like a tough hike, but, like, the
Very
views
tough.
were amazing. I don't know, like, what other park you would be able to, like, hike next to a waterfall.
I think others.
Oh.
Yeah. But this one was very cool. We did the mist hike, which you're just getting hella rained on. And then we were soaked. Then we took a little break to dry off, then got soaked again, and I got a huge blister. But it was fun. And we took a nap.
We took a nap on top of, like, what is it, the valleys? Is the valley floor then what's, like, above the mountains?
Yeah. We just took a nap on the mountain.
Yeah. Next
to the second waterfall, and honestly the nap slapped. I could not stay awake. Sleep came very naturally.
We also just, like, spent the entire time goofing off and filming fake Hunger Game clips that we're gonna be posting on TikTok. But if you ever go to Yosemite, honestly, like, someone prove me wrong, but I feel like it's literally the, like, arena for the first Hunger Games.
But can that be said of any national park? Yeah.
Not Big Bend.
Well, the mountain area in Big Bend.
But do they have, like, trees like that? Like, forests?
Oh, like, really high.
Yeah.
Not all national parks meant.
Okay. Well, we had a lot of fun creating a low-budget
Hunger
Games of the first book. So be on the lookout on our TikTok for that content.
Yeah, go find it. Hopefully it's going viral, so we'll pin it, but we'll let you know. Oh, and Taylor Swift released Speak Now while we were there. So on our last day, we were just jamming to Speak Now, Taylor's version.
I got tired of it, but I could tell you weren't.
I was not. But it was fun.
What did you think of the album?
I think the top half of the album, love. The bottom, I'm one of those people that, like, will like it eventually if I've heard it enough.
Yeah, same.
But right now I'm like, I don't know these songs, I'm bored.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I liked this album made me like Back to December more than Sparks Fly. And Sparks Fly was always like my top Speak Now song.
Okay, that's good. One big highlight, and the reason I like going on these trips is to reduce my screen time. And I was successful.
We were discussing it this morning. What was your average screen time this past?
Okay, but it was hella skewed. It was like 5.5 hours. It was only down 6%. But skewed because it counts Spotify, which we were listening to music a lot because we were driving a lot. And we had to watch TV on our phone. So...
Now let me explain why we had to watch it. Okay, so we stayed at this hotel. It was kind of a resort. It's not really...
It was a motel, honestly.
But in the woods, it's a resort.
Yeah.
Honestly. But it didn't have free Wi-Fi. Like, you had to pay for the Wi-Fi. It was only $10 a day for only 2 devices. And you can't, like, switch devices. And so we paid for it. But on the last day, there was, like, a leak or something. And the Wi-Fi just, like, did not work the minute that we got back.
We were distraught. Well, I was distraught. Yuch was just like, I'll take a nap at the pool.
Yeah.
Also, the TV in the room didn't work well. So we watched Jury Duty on our phone every night. 1 episode only because we had to, like, hold it up while we were laying in bed. So...
Which is, like, so funny that we, like, go to the mountains to just, like, be in nature. But we were also... it was a leisure trip, so we were recording, like, content.
We had to edit at night. But also... the way I decompress is watching TV. I don't think I could go a week without watching. I mean, I could if it was, like, absolutely different. Actually, whenever we do trips in India, I don't watch TV. Alright, whatever. We wanted to watch TV. So we had to watch on our phone.
Well, the thing is that we would wake up at, like, 6 a.m. or even before then and get back by, like, 3. And we're trying to stay awake, honestly. Like,
yeah.
So it's really hard. We had to, like, keep busy.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to be alone with our thoughts.
Yeah. Like, how do you keep busy with no Wi-Fi? We were already at the pool for so long, and it's really hot. Like, I didn't want to get sunburned. And the umbrella kept falling on us.
Okay, so on our last day, we went to the Mariposa Grove, which is where you see, like, the giant sequoias, and we like, bumped into a tour guide, and he was great.
A ranger. Frank,
yeah.
Shout out Frank.
Frank, we love you, but he's a great storyteller, but I think great storytellers can also, like...
drag on,
but, like, get into,
great.
like, the preachy...
Yeah.
area of like philosophy and life, and he was definitely
he veered into that quick. He was really into being mindful and practicing mindfulness, and we're in front of the oldest tree they think in this area, and right in front of it he's like preaching about mindfulness, and then he's like, I challenge you.
It also took him like 10 minutes to get to that. Literally.
I was really trying to be present listening to him, but I was getting bored. But he basically challenged us to not take a picture of the grizzly tree and grizzly giant tree, whatever it is, and instead feel the wind, hear the birds.
Okay, that's not what he said.
Visualize the tree.
He was like, how will your memories of this trip change if you had to rely on, like, your own sight, your own, like, smells to, like, remember this trip?
Okay, which today I can picture the trip. Or picture the tree.
I can't.
But that's because I took the picture of it, and I've been looking at it because it was on my story. But regardless, like, had... we not taken a picture, I would have forgotten immediately. Did you take a picture?
Yeah, but I haven't been looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
I just know it's a big tree.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what a big tree
scar
looks
thing
like.
in it.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. Anyways, basically 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, 30 seconds after said, don't take a picture, I took a picture. We both did.
we were like first there. Like, let's get there before he sees us taking this picture.
We got to the tree and we were like, should we not take a picture? And then we were immediately like, no, we got it. It's because we have, like, no memory. I have zero memory. Like, I need to. And I guess we could just look it up. But it's also like, will I remember? I already forgot what it's called.
You know what? And he pulled out a picture that they took, like, a long time ago of, like, the founder of, what was his name? Something Clark.
Galen Clark.
Yeah,
I remember.
You remember because you took a picture of the sign. You were literally like, if I don't take a picture of this, I'm gonna forget.
Yes.
But yeah, it was so fun. I think like so many clown moments. I think the biggest clown moment is honestly kind of sad, but I feel like Yosemite is really understaffed right now for like
understaffed.
how popular of a park it is. And we saw it with like the way that the shuttles were run. So like it's designed really well where they have like shuttle stops in like a circular loop for all the major attractions, which is great because there's limited parking spots.
Mm-hmm.
But where they fucked it up is they had so little shuttle buses running for like the main attractions that you would just be. It was the Hunger Games at the shuttle stop.
It was literally fight for your life to get on these buses,
and you're like fighting with like people when they're like 5-year-old kids. But we didn't care. We were like, we gotta get on these buses.
After the hike we did where we got super wet, we came down, basically like our socks were wet too, like our extra socks, and then we got into a line that was probably like 2 or 3 hours long for the shuttle bus. We decided like 10 minutes in, let's just walk to one of the villages and then try, like, eat a snack and then try there. Luckily, that tactic did work, but then when we drove in the bus back to the original stop, people that we saw were still there. And at this point, we had gone, eaten pizza.
Yeah, gotten
like,
cold drinks.
Yeah, and we didn't just, like, zone in on the pizza. We looked at every food option, then chose the pizza. Like,
we were there
for a long time.
We were there for at least an hour and a half, I would say. And it was funny because I was contemplating, like, if had to, I could walk another 6 miles.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been 6 miles. It would have only been 2 miles to our time.
Well, I was mentally prepared for 6.
Okay, good.
What, luckily, 2 miles? We should have just walked back then.
Remember, your socks were soaked?
Oh, yeah. My socks were soaked.
And our legs were in hella pain. What else was a low light? That's pretty much it. But anyway, back to the shuttle thing. I counted 4 shuttles total for the whole valley, which is like 10 miles long or something. That's exaggerated, but whatever. It is the most populated area. That's the biggest attraction part. Only 4 shuttles. Then we go to the Grove, and there are 4 shuttles there. And there are probably 10% of the people.
Honestly, less, I would say.
Yeah. There was an overflow of buses. They were not filled. Like, we sat down every time. There was no rush to get on. They gotta move some buses from the Grove to the Valley. Hit us up. We'll help you for free. We'll give you some good advice, and you need it. And all the bathrooms were, like, not cleaned. Like, we went to the deli to get breakfast one day, and it took, like, an hour to get food because there was only one person making the food. So I feel bad for her, but why was there only one person? Like, obviously, you know, this is such a busy time. It's summer. It's also a holiday week.
Yeah, everyone had such, like, a good attitude, but you could tell everyone was, like, also frustrated.
Oh, for sure.
And I just hope their staff is getting paid well.
I doubt it. Otherwise, there would be more people there. I did tweet from our Clown Vibes account asking Biden what his plan is, and he hasn't seen it. So, tough.
Alright, so should we get into our main topic?
Yeah.
So we have a special episode for you guys today, because this is an update episode. There's been so many updates with our podcast. We're going to tell you, like, all the inside scoop on how our podcast is doing. It's been 6 months. Can you believe we've been recording every single week?
I cannot.
For half a year.
Us.
And then we'll give you, like, a lot of updates on some of our favorite main topics, such as Harry and Meghan.
Our favorite clowns.
Calloway. So this is like an update episode on all things Clown Vibes. Should we start with our podcast?
Yeah.
So how is our podcast doing?
Honestly, we got a first hater today. Or this week sometime. We don't know when.
Because we were too, like, detached from our phones.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't track it.
Someone give us 1 star on Spotify. So we have a hater. We have had pretty steady growth. And we've had some TikToks baby pop off recently. Which has driven a lot of
new followers.
Yeah. We're growing slowly but steadily.
So steadily. And I think like there are moments where I get frustrated with like performance, but then you just have to like keep us going. And then there are moments when you get frustrated and then I'll have to keep us going. But oh my gosh, people who like try to start a podcast just by themselves with like no followers and growth, it's a lonely business.
Yeah. And it sucks because we'll like think that TikTok is so good. Like we spent so much time.
We think everything's so good. Except for the ones except for the ones that do well. We're like, this was stupid.
Yeah. The lower the effort, the better the video is.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's very annoying when you spend time making the video and you think it's so good and unique and then it gets capped by TikTok.
Okay, what is our best podcast? Like the one with the most listens?
Our Hunger Games episode.
Yes. That one did really well. I mean, thanks to Fish,
obviously,
our first guest, for being on our podcast. That was like a big moment.
It was a huge moment
for us too, because we were like trying to think of like people that we know to bring on, but then we're just like, why don't we just ask random people? And so far, like that tactic has really worked. 50% of the time. 50% of the time.
It helps when they're not real actresses.
Yeah. We've been like really ambitious with some of our outreaches,
but you know what? What's crazy is like we've been ambitious with them, but they have less followers than like the people who have actually replied to us.
Really?
Yeah. They just think they're too important because they're on TV. Anyone can be on TV.
That's true. I like to be on TV.
But yeah, obviously Fish helped us a lot. We got a lot of new followers from that episode. It's a really funny episode. Listen to it if you haven't.
Yes. And then our second most played episode is our first ever episode, which I think is actually a really good episode. Just like the quality is really...
Sound quality is bad.
Not as great. Great as we have it now, but we do realize like we have a lot to work on in terms of like production quality.
Yeah.
Which we'll make steady improvements
on. And we have. So our first episode, we recorded on Zoom with our AirPods.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think I was using... We weren't even connected correctly to the mics. Remember, I was using my computer speaker and you were using your AirPod speaker?
Oh, yeah. We were... That was just like a test, like... Starting a podcast or like even a business is like ripping off a Band-Aid. You just like gotta do it. You will never have like the perfect setup, the like number of like followers that you want for growth.
Yeah.
And I mean, we started out with 0 followers on TikTok and now we have almost 200.
And the first episode was like so awkward. But you edited it really well. Because it's weird starting, even when we take a break for a little while and then come back to recording, we're like, how do we do this again? And it's weird, but it is a great episode. And I think a lot of our listens to that episode is our friend who were like, yeah, we're going to listen and support, who then dropped off.
Yeah. Which, like, thank you for checking us out. They should come back and check us out now because we've really improved our, like, quality.
Many things. Yeah.
And I've spilled so much tea about my life that I feel like I need to create more drama now to, like, have more content for the podcast.
We'll start spilling my tea, although I cannot remember my tea. Which
I know, I remember your tea better than you.
Yeah, so maybe we should do an episode where you're telling me my tea and I am like reacting to it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
What's good is that I feel like we have so many ideas all the time. Like, I think every week we probably are like, oh, should we do this or that, like at least 3 or 4 times. And what's nice is like we don't have a niche really.
We do, but our issue is we're having trouble like communicating what the Clown Vibes brand is, and that's like I think a focus of ours in the second half of the year is to really hone in on like what is Clown Vibes, because we literally got that comment from a follower, and I'm just like, it literally takes me a really long time to communicate that. And I've been like telling people it's the intersection of society, culture, and clown vibes, but then they're like, what's clown vibes? We're like using the word in the definition. And so if you have any ideas, let us know. But we are very serious about rebranding or just like fine-tuning our branding.
Yeah. It's it's hard because clown vibes to us is a feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like so intuitive. It's just like
it's clown behavior.
Yeah. But then we're still using clown. Do people get clown? Younger people definitely. Older people, debatable.
Yeah. I think it's a very Gen Z term, actually.
Yeah, it is. Okay, what are some clown moments of our journey on this podcast? There's so many.
Well, I think this was a really interesting experiment to figure out like what you and I are both good at.
Yes.
And bad at. And it is very obvious that you can't spell for your life.
I can't. And you know what sucks is like, why doesn't Anchor have spell check?
Okay, but even so, like I feel like sometimes you're putting stuff in Google Sheets or Google Docs and copying it in and it's still like spelled wrong. So I don't know.
So then it's everyone's fault.
Why can't you spell?
I don't know.
Anytime Ami like uploads anything with words, I'm like looking at each and everything to make sure it's spelled right.
And sometimes we'll miss something anyway. But yeah, spelling is tough for me, and you know what? You don't really need to spell these days. Like, it's all spelled for you, except on Anchor. Also, one time, very early on, I joined a recruiter call with our Clown Vibes email, and I didn't realize, like, I joined, and I saw the C pop up, and I was like, what's going on? And then the recruiter gave me a look like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, sorry, you joined for my podcast email. I shouldn't have explained, and I should have just joined, but I wonder if he saw the request and was like, what the fuck is this? But then still accepted.
Was it a Google Meets?
Yeah. I don't know if on Google Meets you have to accept.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But like when you pop up, it would go like, boom. Do you know that sound?
Yeah. And
it's
it
so
said
triggering.
cloudvibespodcast at gmail.com joined. And then I freaked a little bit. Luckily, he was just like, okay, moving on. And I didn't get that job anyway. So, doesn't matter.
I think like the most clownish aspects of the podcast so far is how much effort we put into TikTok in trying to obtain new listeners. And we have really scoured like the internet in search for like how to improve. And have we improved?
I think so. Kind of.
Okay, so there's this thing called being shadow banned, which I don't even know if this is like a real thing.
I don't think we are.
So our content's just bad?
Okay, so it's hard because every article says something different about like how to increase your views. And we get a lot of likes on our videos, but likes apparently don't matter. And that makes no fucking sense. It's shares and bookmarks and comments that matter. But like, I don't understand why likes don't count. That is still engagement.
Yeah, or if people are going into the comments, like clicking it open. I'm just thinking about like me from when I'm viewing like a TikTok. I rarely comment.
But it's like opening it. But you have to have some people comment, right? To like be like, oh, what did people say in the comments? Sometimes we get comments, but it's like a couple. And if I see a video with a couple of comments, I'm not clicking into it.
Yeah.
So we're still working on it.
Literally every week, we're gonna go viral.
It's because we think some of the videos are so good, and I think they are. And TikTok just hoes us
every single time.
Go watch our TikToks and let us know. I think they're really funny. Skip the podcast clip ones, though, because clearly you've already listened to the episode.
All right, shall we give the audience some updates on our clowns from the past?
Yes.
Okay, starting with our first ever episode, Harry and Meghan.
Okay. So much shit has come out about them very recently. I feel like every few weeks or every month, they're back. They're back in the news cycle.
But like how? Because they don't even do anything.
Yeah, that's so true. I don't know. Why are we so obsessed with them?
Well, we're obsessed with them because we did a podcast episode on them. So like anytime anything like happens related to our podcast,
we try to post a video.
Yeah. And that's like we're forced to keep up with it.
True. I hate them. Anyway, so Spotify, they had a podcast deal with Spotify for $20 million that they signed in 2020, the year they left the firm or whatever, and Spotify canceled their deal. Because since then, so what, 3 years, they've owned out 12 episodes of Meghan's podcast. So they basically like have not created enough content, and they're being called grifters, especially by Bill Simmons, who is the Ringer Network podcast founder. And the Ringer has a lot of great podcasts, so I really trust him. Anyways, he calls them grifters because he has a story where they go to, I don't know if it's him or someone else. Whatever, there's a story floating around where when they go to parties, they basically try to cozy up to the richest people there. And they'll be like, oh, you have a private island? Like, do you mind if we use it to, like, record an episode or, like, whatever, do something? And the person will be like, sure, I guess so. And they'll be like, oh, can we use your jet to go there? Basically, they're trying to get everything and anything they can for free because they have no money and no talent.
The thing is that it's interesting because Meghan didn't grow up with like privilege.
Yeah.
But Harry did, and now watching him trying to like acclimate to a life that is of like a regular person is really interesting because do you actually need to go to a private island to film a podcast clip? I guess for privacy, right? But how private do you actually need it to be?
Yeah. I was duped by their Netflix documentary, and I do think all of these comments about them are legit. Like, I think Meghan has let being a princess, or whatever the fuck she is now, go to her head, and she is like the ultimate pick-me.
Is she?
These days. Yeah.
Okay, honestly, I don't actually understand the term pick me.
Okay, maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe I don't get it either. But whatever. She's the ultimate, like, what's the word? Where she's trying to be, like, so cool and sophisticated and, like, above everything. But really, at the end of the day, all she wants is fame.
I don't know. What is that term? Fake?
Fake. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, she's hella fake. She's a liar. And I will no longer be duped by them. And I love this bad press that they're getting.
Honestly, we're just here for the drama.
Yeah, we're hella here for it.
If I saw them in real life, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I
would take a picture of them for sure, but that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of liars, we have an update on Caroline Calloway too. Okay, we have to like expose ourselves a little bit because when we first recorded our Caroline Calloway episode, we knew nothing. She was not prepared.
I was so unprepared. And I think that was an episode we did after like a break. And then I came and I was like, I'm too tired and I don't know anything about this chick.
I truly had to carry the entire episode. But Amelia like posted some really good TikToks that for some reason, I think Caroline just always has a following of haters.
Yes.
And it's not like we were even really hating on her. Like, I think the Celebrity Memoir Book Club girls said it best that, like, if you're talking about pop culture, it just comes with a level of snark. Like, there's no way to really be nice about it.
No, for sure.
If you want to be a little bit objective. And Caroline Calloway's, like, content, it's not nice content. Like, no one can be nice while talking about it. And she just naturally comes with a few haters that find her fascinating, as do we. And that episode, I think, is like one of our best organically, like,
for sure. And you know why? I think it's because very few people do episodes on her, and very few people do videos on her. Yeah, to where ours just do well because we're one of the few. But update on her: she finally released her book.
Finally,
it's a day book.
What is a day book?
Okay, I did not read this book. I listened to the Celebrity Memoir Book Club episode on the book. Disclaimer. But it's a book that you can read in a day. Like, it's less than 200 pages. Or, like, I think she's around, like, 250 or something.
We were spot on that. Because remember you said that if she were to write a book, it would be so short.
Yeah.
With, like, zero content.
Yeah. Although she did have content. But she's, like, trying to rewrite history and basically trying to reframe the thing she did to Natalie by saying, like, oh, I was really in love with her, but I didn't know. She's basically trying to say she's a lesbian or bi.
Really?
Yeah. And some of the stuff, like, so at the end of the Celebrity Memoir Book Club episode, they were kind of like, okay, this did help us get on Caroline's side more than Natalie's, because Natalie only talks about Caroline, but Caroline's only talking about herself. You know what I mean? Like, Natalie's content is Caroline.
Yeah,
But
that's
Caroline's
true.
content is herself. And she does say some really, like, mean and unnecessary things about Natalie. But for the most part, the book isn't about her.
Mhm.
It's about, like, her journey at school and, like, her dad passing away and, like, things like that. So, honestly, I'm impressed that she wrote the book.
I'm actually, like, not surprised she released it because she's been kind of on, like, a
That's true.
PR, like, train
Yeah.
these recent months. And I assume it's to hype herself up.
Yeah, for sure.
In the book. I wonder how the book is doing, like, sales-wise. If people are actually, like, buying it and reading
Probably
it.
good. I think everyone's really fascinated by her.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that, like, there's more to Caroline's story? Like, what is next for her? That movie deal. Yeah, that she talked about. I actually don't know if that's real or not.
Yeah, same. I don't know. But I don't know what's next for her. She has to, like, create some more buzz to where she can write about it again, you know?
Yeah. I think that is, like, so we in Clown Vibes do a few different types of episodes. We'll do, like, pop culture. We'll do, like, I don't know, corporate business, like, working type of episodes. Then we'll do, like, personal episodes.
Mm-hmm.
The personal episodes on friendship breakups did really well.
Yeah.
And I think most of those listens came from, A, like, our friend groups, and B, this TikTok that I posted with screenshots of one of the stories that I mentioned, basically proving that she actually was unhinged.
Yeah. I think, what were other... Oh, we did a dating episode. That one did pretty well.
Yeah. And I feel like that only touched the surface.
Oh, for sure.
Of dating for us. So there'll be more to come.
Yeah.
But those always do really well because, of course,
people are nosy.
Who doesn't want to know tea about us?
I
say that very sarcastically. Yeah.
Our stalkers want to know.
Yes, our stalkers.
But yeah, I have more updates too. We can talk about the Kardashians.
Yes, our Kardashian episode. Yes. Our Kardashian episode didn't do as well as we would have thought it was going to do.
Yeah. I think there's just too much Kardashian content out there. Yeah. Even though one of my TikToks did pretty well.
It did.
Yeah. But
tell me the Kardashian episode.
Update?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I said that I was optimistic about season 3, and now after watching like half of it, I do think that they have some good episodes in this season and some like what the fuck episodes in this season, but it's better than it has been, and I do think that they are exposing themselves a little bit more than they did in the other seasons, so
that's good.
People are talking about them more. This fight between Kim and Kourtney, I'm hella on Kourtney's side. The past few episodes, every time I watch it, I'll spend the next like 2 days on Twitter looking at what everyone's opinions are, texting my friends like, if you're not on Kourtney's side, then don't talk to me. Like, analyzing how their birth order affects it. Like, I've been very engaged.
Your birth order does affect
100%.
Your relationship with literally everyone.
And the reason I'm really on Team Kourtney, well, I haven't watched their latest episode about them talking about their issues, so who knows after that, but I'm really on Team Kourtney because she's the oldest, I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Her argument is just like, can I have one fucking thing for myself? And I feel that.
Okay, so we're both oldest child, and it is really a lot. It is so obvious that we're the older daughter.
Yeah.
We could do an entire episode on being the oldest daughter.
Maybe we should. We went to dinner last night with Yushan's boyfriend and his friend, and at the dinner, he ate like all of one dish. It was like family style. He ate all of one dish.
Yeah, he ate
majority of one dish. Yeah, I did eat some of it. I think Nate probably ate some of it. But
I had none of it.
Yushan didn't get any of it. And he was just like, oh, sorry, I thought everyone had gotten it, whatever. So then we were like talking about...
I would never do that.
Exactly. And then we were like, okay, we could guess your birth order based on your interactions at this dinner, that you're the youngest. Like, does not care. And, like, anytime a dish came, Yushan was, like, serving everyone. Like, it was very clear that you were oldest child. Me, I was just kind of observing the whole situation.
Yeah.
But birth order is like a huge factor in like how you act in life.
He felt really bad about it.
Yeah.
To give him credit.
We just with the K, it's okay. But
we just thought it was funny.
It's just an example of how you can like immediately tell.
Yeah.
And the people that I've seen like on Kim's side, cough cough, comments by celebs, they're middle children. That's why they relate with, or one of them is a middle child. That's why they relate with Kim. It's interesting.
Oldest daughter tribe.
Yeah. Oldest daughter trauma.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, and then literally an update came out last week, yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
Related to our Therapy Speak episode. And you reading all those like texts to me literally made me want to vomit.
Yes.
You just can't make this shit up.
No. So, okay. Go watch her TikTok, but Jonah Hill's ex basically like put a ton of their old text messages on her Instagram stories, basically highlighting how he was emotionally abusive and especially highlighting how he was using Therapy Speak to basically bully and manipulate her by saying like, I don't like when you wear these things, like I don't like when you hang out with these people, I don't like you interacting with men whatsoever, like these are my boundaries, like using boundaries as a way to conceal his demands. And like boundaries aren't something you impose on other people, it's like your own thing. Like if that's his boundary, I guess fine, then just don't say it and like walk away.
Also the way that he came off in that text was like,
I am so condescending.
Like this is like I am all knowing.
Yes.
And this is like just the like norm. Like what I'm requesting is the norm.
Yeah.
He was just like, if you want to engage in having toxic friends or getting validation from posting like bikini pics, then like live your life, but these are my boundaries in order to have like a healthy relationship.
It was very therapy coded. Like everything, the tone, the way he was like talking to her. And then she posted screenshots of like pictures that he wanted her to delete. And he basically was like, anything that you're in a thong, like any picture where you're in a thong. She's like, I'm in a swimsuit. It's like, she's a surfer. Like, it's not even a swimsuit that's revealing because that would hurt. So it was just sick.
Behavior.
It was very sick. And he got their therapist. I don't know if Jonah Hill got the therapist or the therapist is just a horrible person. The therapist was telling her like tactics to like appease Jonah in like the relationship of like, if a man came to her, she would have to say, I have a boyfriend and paddle away, like in order to not have any interaction with the opposite sex. Anyways, it was very tough to read and very related to our Therapy Speak episode.
Mm-hmm. One thing that he told her to do about like saying like I have a boyfriend and paddling away. One thing that I'm going to try to practice, not that this like happens a lot, but instead of using like I have a boyfriend as an excuse, you literally tell the man that you're just not interested.
Yeah. But you do that because,
why do we do that?
We do that because men only respect men. And even if you say, I'm not interested, they can be like, well, why? Like, I have all of these traits and this and that. Versus, like, if you say, like, I have a boyfriend, they'll just be like, oh, that's why we do it.
Remember when I don't even know if I accidentally went on a date. I didn't know it was like a date. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
And remember I was like saying how I was telling him that I was seeing someone and he was just like, oh, how long have you guys, like he still thought he had a chance. And I was just like, God, this is turning into a date that I did not intend for.
One time I was hanging out with someone and I was like telling him all of my boy issues and like how I was like so upset about this, and he still tried to hook up with me. And I was just like, did you not see me crying 30 minutes ago about this other guy?
All right, for all of our men that are listening, which based on our analytics, I would say is what, 30%? Is it 70-30?
I can't remember, but it's
maybe
my
20.
uncle. Shout out to my uncle, he's our biggest fan.
But he only listens to us at like 1.5x.
Now he listens at 3x.
True commitment right there. Maybe send him some merch.
I'll make him a clown bracelet.
If you're a guy and you're listening to this right now, if any girl starts talking about another guy to you, it's over. Dunzo. You're in the friend zone, my friend.
Yeah.
Like, how much more clear can we get about that?
I don't know.
All right, well, there you have it. This is the update episode for Clown Vibes Podcast, and I'm sure there'll be more updates to come.
Oh, for sure. And we'll keep you posted on our journey.
Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.